This program proudly brought to you by Southern Cross Pitch and Putt and Henry's Family Restaurant.
Hello and welcome to Cannons Courtside, and great to have your company on a week where there's been plenty happening in the Canberra Cannons camp, including injuries unfortunately, and I have two of the more wounded players with me this morning, and great to have you with us, but I didn't want to have you with us, Troy Pillen and Nate Green, in this particular circumstance. Firstly with you, Troy, welcome to the show. What's the situation with you? You're out for the season, I understand.
Yeah, on Wednesday I went to the doctor and he told me that I had a torn meniscus in my knee and that it'd require surgery to remove it, so I'll be out for the remainder of the season.
For meniscus we read cartilage, and cartilage tear, you can generally get them fixed in a couple of weeks now, but being out for the season, which is a couple of months away, that's a tough one. Yeah,
I'm not quite sure when I'm going to have the operation. I'm going to see the surgeon next Tuesday and make further plans from there and hopefully get it done as soon as possible, so hopefully I can be on the road to recovery.
And perhaps get back by the end of the season?
It's very doubtful at this point in time. We're just sort of looking, getting it fixed and then see what happens from there, but probably out for the rest of the season.
Well, that is bad news. Let's check with the other wounded warrior, Nate Green. Well, we saw yours happen and it was a tough one. You came down hard on your shoulder last week and you thought you might be back for this week, but that's a long way off.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate incident, and I would definitely like to be out there with the fellas this weekend, as I'm sure Truckee would, but it's not going to happen.
What is wrong with your shoulder?
The doctors tell me that there's just a lot of soft tissue damage, and you know how doctors get with their lingo, talking back and forth to each other. It's kind of hard to understand them sometimes, but to pretty much quote what he said he's cautiously optimistic that it'll just be a 3 to 4 week injury, and I should be right after that.
Well, let's take a look now at the way it happened. And you had it out there in front of Jason Smith, and he's the only other one in frame. Gets you right in the middle of the back, and that's come down very hard there on the left shoulder, and that must be painful to you to watch that.
Yeah, it's a bit tough to watch, and I don't know what hurt worse right off the bat, whether my head hurt worse or my shoulder, but yeah, it's definitely tough to watch.
Now, at the time, we thought perhaps that it had been dislocated. Was it dislocated? At the
just a slight stretch. What they tell me is that the shoulder came out of the joint a bit, but was strong enough to come back in, so no severe damage. If that would have happened, it could have been a lot longer out for me.
Did it pop straight back in?
Yeah, just like I said, a little bit of a stretch and then just right back in.
Okay, well, this obviously weakens the team a good deal. Troy, in your situation, I mean, anyone of your guys' calibre is hard to replace. What's the situation for the rest of the year?
As far as the rest of the team goes, I'm not quite sure at the moment what Cal's looking to do. I know he's got some ideas about looking at replacements and that, but we're not quite certain on what that is yet, so we'll just have to wait and see.
And in your case, Nate, I mean, the situation when you haven't been out there, I mean, of course we've got Paul Vandenberg coming back, but it's been tough for the team to play when you haven't been able to quarterback the team.
Yeah, being a playmaker is really what I do best. I've never been a go-to scorer, and although I like to think I work hard, I've never been a defensive specialist either, but like I said, being a playmaker is my forte, and not being out there to run the show, so to speak, is going to be difficult. But as you said, Paul Vandenberg's been doing a great job, and we'll also get DP back, David Patrick back this weekend, so I think we'll be all right in the backcourt.
Couldn't have come at a worse time, could it? I mean, the team has been struggling somewhat, and I guess if you were going to get going, you needed a full complement to get going.
Yeah, you're definitely right, Phil. We've been struggling a little bit. The wins haven't been exactly loading up on our side, but there's been just a little bit of a twinge of confidence starting to come back in our team. You can just sense it when we go on the road for trips and then at home, and also in training. You just sense a little bit of confidence coming back.
Okay, we'll have a look at more of that when we come back on Cannons Courtside in just a moment.
Blades Menswear are proud sponsors of the Canberra Cannons. Blades Menswear for the world's finest clothes.
Welcome back to Cannons Courtside. Well, tomorrow afternoon in Sydney, the Canberra Cannons travel north to meet the Sydney Kings at the Superdome, where the Kings are awfully tough. They beat the Perth Wildcats up there last week by 20 points, so they're in very good form. And the Cannons, of course, without Troy Pillen and Nate Green. It's going to be tough too for Nate's substitute, Paul Vandenberg.
Paul's trademark is his defense, and now he's becoming a little more offensive minded. He hit a couple of big shots, a couple of nice moves, so hopefully he can continue that form and pave the way to be one of the best Aboriginal players all time.
It's a huge sort of step for me coming from an ABA into the NBL and sort of expecting just to jump right in and hit some threes and all that sort of stuff. So it's taken a little while, but it is just a confidence thing for myself. I know that that I'm a decent ball player, so it's just a confidence thing for me. And I think once I get over that hump, that I'll start to perform better and better as the weeks go by.
Yeah, it's not the easiest matchup in the world to come back on, but I take it as a challenge. I guess you always love to play against the best, and he's probably one of the best going around. So I'm excited to play against him this week.
Last couple of weeks, he sort of said that he hit the wall and that he was feeling fatigued. But I mean, since he said that, I think he's had 33 and 36. So I mean, whether that was just a plot by himself, just to allow defense to sort of, take it easy on him, I'm not quite sure. But I mean, I know this week that I have to really be on my game and be right up on him, especially like 1 metre to 2 metres out from the 3-point line, which you're not really used to guarding people that far out. So he's someone you got to guard like way out there, and also he's a good penetrator, looking for his teammates. So it's going to be a tough task, but I'm looking forward to it.
And Shane Heal won't be the only problem the Cannons have there tomorrow afternoon. They've got plenty of stars on that roster. They're looking pretty good at this stage of the season. They've been outside the six for most of it, and now they're right in the six and on track to make the playoffs, it seems.
I think that we've been up and down, and the reality of it is it gets back to the 2 Brisbane losses. If we hadn't lost to Brisbane, then everybody would say they've had a very good year. If we hadn't lost to Victoria by 40, they'd say they've had an exceptional year.
Basket counts, foul score number 10 Andrew Gaines, Terry Johnson the line.
We're going to miss Terry a lot. Slowly but surely, when you put new teams together, everybody starts to identify with whatever role is best for this team, and Terry had embraced a role of being a distributor, very unselfish player, big-time defensive player, had the ability to carry the ball and let us get Shane off the ball. So for all of those reasons, at this stage of our year, to lose him is a real big loss.
Well, there's been plenty happening back here at home too, with the new team from New York, DMW, moving into the Cannons office. Cannons Courtside took some time out this week to meet the new management team.
We got everything done the way we were all going to be happy. As I said, in any negotiations there's give and take, and you have to go with that. But at the end of the day, I was happy.
I mean, Canberra is a small town. I mean, you coming from New York, have there been any barriers put in front of you here?
No, actually, I found the people to be very friendly, very open. They've been very respectful and very kind to my staff. We've gotten so much courtesy. I'm just starting to wonder if I'm in the right place sometimes, if I'm in a wonderland.
I guess the big thing is, though, how are you going to turn the team's fortunes around?
With any team, as I've said before, it's anywhere from 3 to 5 years when you're starting with a young team for building. But that doesn't mean it's going to take that long. It could take, the turnaround can come in 6 months. It can happen in a year. It all depends. Quick turnarounds means quick failures, too. So, take your time, build it. There's a foundation already here. We just have to restructure it and re-fortify it.
What sort of things will we see from an entertainment point of view?
Getting the crowd involved, we'll do something in the neighborhood of, dials on the floor where they have to match the dials and, you know, win prizes, you know, from sponsors, different things, from dinners to televisions. We'll even have half-court shots, you know, where you're in the program. If you buy a program, your number's called, you win $500. But, hey, if you take a three-point shot, we'll double it.
Can you be specific about some of these changes that you will make?
We're going to do a lot more marketing, a lot more television, do a lot more with our sponsors, showing that we care about them, getting the team out there, more exposure with them. As far as the officials are concerned, we will send letters when we feel that we have not been treated appropriately. Last game I saw, I've never seen any officiating like that before in my life. Possibly I might get fined for saying that, but it's something I've never seen. There are games I've been at in these past couple of weeks that were fine. You know, officials can't make every call the right call or the way you would want it, but this particular game stuck out in my mind.
As far as compliance, I'm dealing with the NBL rules and how we can work around it, how we can work with it to change, maybe get the game a little stronger, and just basic rules of the games that maybe, I mean, I understand by Peter Allen that the NBL doesn't even have the NBL Players Union doesn't even have a games committee. So as far as that, I would like to definitely get involved with that. I think that would make the player relations a little stronger as far as, you know, players trusting the players relations guy. So the NBL won't be looked as a stepping stone for these players, that you can actually have some long-term investments in here.
In charge of the operation of DMW aspect of the Cannons basketball program. I just oversee what's going on with the Cannons, make sure everything is going on with DMW's wishes are being fulfilled here with the Cannons, and any other ventures that DMW wants to explore in Australia, I'll be trying to go forth with that. Yeah, it's a little different here. It's this league here, the way the league played, it's a real, it's a catch and shoot league. I mean, I played in South America. South America's real physical. Out here, it's a physical league, but it's more of the shooters are the stars of the league, and it's good to see that. And the guards are the dominant force in this league.
Well, the new management group has had to get to work right away. They've had to plug the injury gaps, and they brought in a new player this week to perhaps replace Troy Pillen. He comes from the Brisbane Bullets, where he's been working for about the last 4.5 weeks with that team. His name is Demetrius Montgomery.
I've been playing professional basketball since, 1997. I graduated in 1997. Jumped straight out of college, went to Spain for the last 3.5 years, and actually I came over here to try to, look for a little job out here in Australia, see if I can, make myself known out here, So I've been in Australia for like the last month and probably a week and a half, looking for a job. I got a couple calls from different teams, but none of the deals actually closed. So the game I play is kind of like Big Will over there, you know what I'm saying? But Will's more, obviously he's taller than I am, but basically it's basically the same. I step out a little bit more, I can shoot a little bit more, or I can run the court probably faster than him because he's much taller or whatever. But we're basically down in the paint doing the dirty work, and then then the guards do the little easy work out there. You just dish it to them, Now basically as a team, everything's pretty hard, but we down there banging and doing a lot of stuff. But like I said, as a team, it's a team thing,
Well, Demetrius looks like a likely prospect, and firstly, Troy, he looks like a power forward, and he comes in to replace somewhere between a small forward and a point guard here. Will he be the man for the job, do you think?
I'm not sure. I suppose we have to wait and see, and hopefully he will be. I mean, obviously they've brought him down here for a reason and to do a job, and hopefully fills that gap quite well.
It's a bit tricky, Nate, isn't it, bringing in a guy like this? Because under the NBL rules, it's an import replacing an import, and you have to sit out for a certain period.
Yeah, it's a 2-game mandatory wait when an import comes into the league. They can't just jump in on any team and play if they play for who they want to. But yeah, he looks that I'll be out for, like I said, somewhere between 3 and 4 weeks, and hopefully he'll step in and take over what Truckee would do.
So he won't be able to play the next couple of weeks and then perhaps replace you for 1 or 2 weeks. Is that the story?
Yeah, that seems to be what's going to happen. Is really Cal got the ball rolling just in case my injury would have been a little bit more severe and I would have been unable to continue the season. And now that's not the case. we figured we might as well bring him here and test the waters with him.
So Troy, if he does get to play, it changes the look of the team a good deal, doesn't it?
Yeah, it will definitely. I mean, I haven't seen him play yet, but an inside presence like that could be quite useful for the team, and hopefully they can get a few wins.
OK, it remains to be seen whether he will play, but one of the other things that will be played very soon is a Cannons Golf Day. And Herb the Snake McGeechan caught up with one of the long-time sponsors of the Canberra Cannons, Gordon Matheson.
Gordon, first question. Now, how long have you been a sponsor of the Cannons?
Well, too long actually, but 1979 when Cal Stamp was coach was the first year. It was the year before they moved to the Palace, I think.
Yeah, that's going way back, Showground days. It was actually at the Showground at Natex before we moved to the Palace. All right, who's your favorite NBL player?
Who's my favourite NBL? That'd take some thinking, but it's got to be you, Herb. I'm not game to say anything else because I'm playing golf with you.
Well, what can I say, folks? What team in the NBL do you love to hate?
Kings. Does everyone hate the Kings?
I was going to say, that should be an easy one.
I think everyone hates them.
Yep. What part of the game do you like the most?
Oh, I like it. Well, the best part's obviously when the Cannons are winning, but when it's a pretty sort of rough game, not rough, but tough game, I guess. But mainly when the Cannons are winning.
Want to see the Cannons' next home game for free and get a free meal from Henry's Family Restaurant? You can simply by entering our competition and go in the draw for our grand prize of airfares, accommodation and tickets to an NBL Grand Final. Go to the Cannons homepage and register. It's that easy. Here is this week's question.
And Henry's is the preferred restaurant of the Canberra Cannons players. You can meet them out there any Wednesday night about 6:30. Go along and make their acquaintance. Well, the Canberra Capitals news now, and the big local derby is on again tomorrow afternoon at Tuggeranong at 2 o'clock. It's the AIS and the Capitals out there. Should be a great game. And one of the former graduates of the AIS is up to about 300 games now in the WNBL, Shelley Sandy. She's in great form. Nick Edwards has this preview.
The last 2 weeks has seen the Caps beat one-time ladder leaders Sydney and last year's runner-up Adelaide in 2 close matches at Tuggeranong. Despite those wins, they expect another tough match from the AIS.
We played them a couple of weeks ago and they're tough. They pushed us all the way and I think we just came away with it at the end of the game. I think it was probably just through our experience that won us the game, but they pushed us the whole way.
Sandy has led the Capitals scoring for the last 2 weeks with 23 points against the Panthers and 22 against the Lightning.
I'm really happy with the way I'm playing. I'm not going out there to be a scorer. It's something that's just happening during the course of the game. I think at the beginning of both games, Eleanor Sharp's actually been the one who's been, just shooting the lights out, and I think then the defence has had to focus on her, and that's freed me up. And I think that's sort of been a bit of a key, is that we're having all our first 5 are being scorers.
For Shelley Sandy, a thorough off-season preparation combined with gym work and some yoga has revitalised the 2-time Olympian.
Definitely I was looking at retiring last season, just had back injury and just wasn't enjoying the game anymore, but I've got on top of that and I'm loving the game again. So I think, the old saying is that you're too long retired, so while I'm still enjoying it, I'll keep playing for sure.
And the Capitals, of course, coming off a great win last week over the Adelaide Lightning. It was a big match-up between the coaches, Carrie Graff against Jan Sterling, the lady who beat her out for the Australian Opal's coaching job. In fact, that's a decision that Coach Graff is just coming to terms with.
I don't like sitting idle. That's not my style. I've been an assistant coach for 6 years on the national program. To go another 4 years, that's 10 years as the second in charge. So, then I think you start becoming seen as an assistant coach to the national team. That's certainly not what I see myself. I think I'm good enough and ready to be the head coach of that team whenever the opportunity comes up again. So, I think it's time for me to shift direction a little bit and work on my coaching in other areas. You know, I'd like to think that sometime down the track I could assist in the NBL. You know, that if the Opals came up in 4 or 8 years, that I'd, you know, put my hand up again, depending what else I was doing. You know, seeking another head coaching job in a good league, continue to coach with the Capitals and maintain this program as a successful one. So I think for me it's a matter of, you know, pursuing my coaching in other areas. I've had my time with the Opals, it's been great. It's someone else's turn to shift in there and go for it.
And back to the NBL now, and tonight one of the hottest local derbies in the league is underway in Melbourne. That's the Melbourne Tigers against the Victoria Titans. Here's a preview of that game.
When you're out there, you hear the Titans fans scream, and then you hear the Tigers fans. You know that, you know, it's important for them to have bragging rights, probably to the bloke sitting next to them, so they're going at it. So all that sort of emotion you really do feel, and it's up to us to try and do the right thing by our fans, and I think most importantly have a good account of ourselves.
4 on the shot clock, Jason Smith. He lands for 3. A huge bomb from Jason Smith with 80 seconds to play.
Yeah, on the court there's no love lost, and we do whatever it takes to win. So sometimes, yeah, hate's a pretty good word for that.
Down low, Benny Jamieson with the dunk. He salutes the crowd.
There's been fights, there's been arguments, there's been different philosophies. It's had it all, and there's no doubt. I mean, if there's no love lost between the two organizations or the two teams, that's just the way it is.
McDonald showing them some tricks. He has the 2. He puts the Titans in front. 4.4 seconds. Gaze from halfway, steadies himself. It's short. The Victoria Titans have scored one of the most unbelievable victories you will ever see.
That should be a great matchup. The Victoria Titans in tremendous form, as we saw here at the Palace last week. And the Tigers, well, they're just a little bit off their game at the moment. We'll check with our 2 guests. Troy, you saw the Titans last week, the kind of form they were in. Can the Tigers match them tonight, do you think?
I think the Tigers can match anyone on any night. They can come out and, like Andrew Gaze, can score 40 points and keep his team in the game. That's just the type of team they are. But I think the Titans will be too strong for them, and I think they'll win the game. But there's always a possibility that Tigers will come out and have a good game.
I think the important thing over the next couple of weeks is you guys to get healthy. And Nate, we want to see you back on the court. Troy, you reckon we're not going to see you for the rest of the year?
No, I very much doubt it.
Just recap, Nate, on when you'll be back, do you think?
Like I said, hopefully 3 to 4 weeks. Shouldn't be anything that'll hamper me more of the season or anything like that. So we'll just get back and, like I said, let DP and Paul Vanderbroek hold on the fort for me while I'm gone.
Good luck, guys, and thanks for joining us here on Cannons Courtside this morning. You're always welcome. And we leave you, as we always do every Saturday, with our play of the day.
Andrew. Troy Pillen sitting with his 5 fouls. Paul Vandenberg, big move from Vandenberg.
Very big move.